well as the panelists who will be joining us on stage in a few minutes. But for now, please welcome our wonderful, our celebrated chairperson of this panel, Nana Dr. S.K.M. Asante, Paramount Chief of Asante Asokore Traditional Area. Also here representing Asante Hini, Utufo Osei Tutu II. Ladies and gentlemen, he's joining me up on stage. Another warm welcome by way of applause would do.
Okay guys, my name is S.K. and I welcome you once again to S.K.M. Media Summit. Today, I am at this the second day of Diaspora Summit 2025 and I'm also presenting live over here. So as you can see, there are a lot of people over here. You can see how beautiful this place is. Yes, over there, which is being written over there. In case you are new here and you haven't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. After subscribing, turn on the post notification bell to know so that you don't miss important video from S.K.M. Media Summit. Thank you.
Good afternoon. How matching?
Maha.
Yeah. So where are you from?
I'm from here, and I'm moving back here to Akuepem Mampong.
Okay. Because the reason why I asked because of your color. You know, in Ghana here we say Obroni. Have you heard of Obroni?
I've heard of the term,
yes.
But that's not me. Obroni is for Arab or for French.
So today is Diaspora Summit 2025. How does this Diaspora 2025 means to you guys?
Well, they just launched the Decade of Our Repatriation, which I think is going to be a spectacular initiative that's going to assist with black folks within the diaspora to come back home with an umbrella organization for safety, a place where they can invest, a place where they can live, bring their families, and not just dance and party, but they can be back. And it's a whole decade. So I am very excited about the Decade of Our Repatriation initiative and to be a member of, and you should definitely jump on it as well.
Sure. So when it comes to Ghana here, most of our brothers and sisters, the diaspora, a lot of people I find difficult to come back home simply because those days where they said Africa is not safe. When you come here, there's sicknesses and all that. What message do you have for our brothers and sisters, those that wanted to come here but they are having doubt in mind whether to come or not to come? What message do you have for them?
Right, the people who benefit on us being in that mindset, they're here. They're here and they're building. The Lebanese are here and they have their restaurants and they're telling us don't come, and they're showing us pictures don't come. I'm saying if we want to build this place to be great like it needs to be, we need to be invested. We need to have skin in the game, just like the Lebanese have skin in the game, and to make this place spectacular like it needs to be. So come on home for those who want to. Again, DOOR is a great initiative because it's community. A lot of times people come alone, and when they do that, it's like moving anywhere. You can't move to France alone and think that you're going to figure it all out. But there's a community that's here to assist, to make sure your land goes through well, to make sure your finances go through well. So for those who are afraid or scared or whatever, go to DOOR, Decade of Our Repatriation, and check it out. You have people who have successfully repatriated, and there's communities that are helping protect.
Okay. I'll come back to you. Please let me ask this. How does Ghana change you, or what are some of the things that you can say that since you have come back to Ghana, the changes that you can see within you, that you can give testimony to those that are watching you?
Yeah, so this is actually my first trip to Ghana.
Okay.
I'm a Repatriate to Ghana client, so we already have land here. So that's a great resource to use if you're a diasporan looking back to come home. I think my biggest takeaway is connecting with my people. We're all one people, we're all the same people. These imaginary borders have us believing that we're not. But everyone from Ghana is connected to Nigeria, to everywhere around the continent. These names were put on us by our oppressors. So us just realizing that we're all one people and we need to be united and build toward Black power. So that has been the experience.
I'll come back to you. When you look at Ghana, our culture, it seems we, the Africans, especially we are in Ghana, so let me use Ghana.
Okay.
We are adopting the Western lifestyle in terms of the food, our dressing. This is a very beautiful dressing, but there are some places, yes, when you go, people will be saying, have you dressed like this to a certain place that people ask you, are you a traditional person, or have you received something like that before? So when you look at this, a lot of people, especially Ghanaians, are adopting the Western lifestyle, our food and our dressing. Do you think we are moving away from our culture and our tradition and our identity? Do you think we are moving or we are fading from it?
For some, I don't want to generalize all, but I will say if you go to a very remote place here and you see a person saying, I love New York t-shirt, right? And then you go to New York, there's no one with I love Abri, I love Mamfi t-shirt. You don't see it. It's not here. So it's a sense of pride that says, you know what, I love my clothes.
Sure.
And if I wear my clothes, I enrich my people. As opposed to enriching someone in New York who has no care about who you are, and then they come back with the TV shows that says, don't go, it's dirty, it's nasty, whatever. They have it where if I say Madase to someone, and they want to say thank you back, they say, no, let's speak the language. And if I get it wrong, I was sitting next to a sister that was teaching me Ga, and she said, no, this is Ga, I'm going to teach you Ga. I said, okay, teach me Ga so I can speak Ga to you. We don't need to speak English, right? Because the moment we do that, we empower the very people that put us in this position. We feel like, okay, we're losing our culture, we're losing this, and that's because there's no sense of pride. So if I have an opportunity to speak my language or to wear my fabrics, all this made here, then I will wear it. And I will give that money back to them, and that money will circulate, and then we'll empower ourselves, we'll empower our media. But if I don't, and I go by, I don't know, some name David, John, whatever, and I wear their jeans or whatever, and then I wonder what's happening with my land. Well, we don't have any pride in our land. We don't wear it. We don't speak it. It's not in our names. So I say, let's bring that back. So somebody comes and says, hey, what is your name? I say, my name is Kojo. And I say, what's your name? They say, oh, my name is, whatever. I'm saying, no, what is your name? Give me your name. And let's wear our clothes. Let's make it cool. Oh, this looks nice. So in my traditional, yes, I like our stuff because it's ours. And if we can change it and make it different, I wasn't ready to drape it, so I did a little something different with it. But maybe next time I'll drape it over, But it's ours. We can do what we want to do with it, right? Sure. So, yeah.
Let me ask this question before I come to my final question. Will you say that you regretted for not coming early in Ghana? Will you say that?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's important for me to connect with our culture. I didn't see the importance of it. We've been brain dirtied in thinking that our people here don't want us, and you guys think we don't want you in the other areas. But all of this is Black land, even our brothers and sisters in Jamaica and Haiti. So we have to get rid of the messaging that says, like, this is not the place for you. This is our home, and we have to build back our home. So yes, it's important for me to connect here. I regret not being here years ago, but I'm glad that I will be a resident here. Hopefully we'll get citizenship very soon, and we can build it up to what it needs to be.
Let me ask this question. If you have the chance to correct certain things from our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, what is that one thing that you wish to correct?
To correct from them? Well, that we have the power to do what we need to do. We don't have to depend on anybody else. We don't need to borrow from someone else's stuff. We don't need to put a chocolate covered something over something that's German or French. You go to a German place, the German president is speaking German with a German car. You go to a French place, the French president is wearing French tailor suits, driving a French car, and you come here, you want to hear the president speaking his language, wearing his clothes, driving a Kantanka, right? And so we don't need to chocolate covered stuff. We can love our own stuff. We don't have to wait for it to be, oh, it's better. No, it's ours. So if we could correct anything, love ours.
Sure.
Invest in ours. Don't look over the window and wait for it to be perfect. Say, I'm going to come, I'm going to roll up my sleeves, and I'm going to make this what it needs to be. And I'm not going to wait for someone else to come and the Lebanese to come and make the investment. And then we're mad, oh, why are they here? Like, no, let's come. Let's come, let's build. We're going to have to do work wherever you are. So let's work here.
What, the same question, if you have the chance to change something about Ghana and our brothers and sisters diaspora, what would that thing be?
What would I change about it?
Yes.
I mean, I think it's the same. Just loving our own stuff, loving our people, speaking our languages, eating our food. We went out to a place and they had Italian food and Thai food. And it's like our food, we come with the flavor, the seasoning, the sauce. So loving everything that is black. That's it.
What message, your final message for them, those that are watching, especially the diaspora, they are the ones that we are calling to come back home.
Yes.
This is a place for them to, relocate.
Yes.
What message, your final message for them?
To come back home. Don't be nervous, don't be scared, don't let people put in your minds that it is not important to be back home. Every dime we spend in the snakes in the UK, wherever you are, we're financing our oppressors. So come back home, build up the black land, and let's make Kemet black again.
Your name?
Niara S.C. Ijawale Omalara Quento.
Thank you. Please, what message, your final message for our brothers and sisters, the diaspora? I base more on them, for them to come. What message do you have for them?
I would say, as she pointed out, come on home and do it with family.
Okay.
Do it with an organization. Don't just jump out there. There are organizations that are here that will ensure they've been proven, they are respected here, they are accepted here. They will help you acclimate it so you don't have to take away your fear. There's a survey, so I would say the initiative, the Decade of Our Repatriation initiative, is been endorsed by the Office of the President. Come, join, and do the work, and experience the beauty of not being financing your oppressors. Don't be afraid. Wherever you are, you're going to have to put in work. But it's better to put in work at home with your brother and your sisters than to be out there financing people that you turn around and like, oh, why are they doing this? And I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get out. Like, no, we don't have to worry about that. And our people have done great work to paving out the way for us. And we are associated with that as well. So that's what I would say. Come on back and let's put in the best of our years. Let's not just wait for a retirement check. While we still got energy, while we still are innovative, let's put that back into making this place the most innovative land you've ever seen.
Your name?
Bakari Kojo Obataye Quinto.
Okay. Do you know that when you step out, people will be calling you Prince? Prince. This is how our prince. Yes. Ohene. Yes. Some will say Ohene. Some will also say, "Are you the prince of who is your father? Is your father a chief?" On that's how a lot of people. Ghanaians, are they nice to you guys when you go to the Western world? Like the racism over here, how do you see the people? Our people.
It's brothers and sisters everywhere. I greet with. I know more Chui than I know Ga or Fante, but I'm learning small, so be patient with me. I come from ting, so coming back, and I'm learning. But when I greet in our language, it seems to take away all of it, and the relationships and the communication become very comfortable. So it's sister, it's brother, it's nana, it's beautiful. So I feel like family.
Thank you so much.
Madase pa.
Okay, midasi. Okay.